Man, I guess Stephen A. Smith was right. Stephen A. Smith said that he couldn't save Shannon Sharpe. And that became a true statement because now ESPN has let go and fired Shannon Sharpe over the lawsuit that was filed against him. And we're going to unpack all that here next, here on the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Well, guys, man, ESPN has decided to part ways with Shannon Sharpe. Now, we all know Shannon Sharpe is a very talented young man, NFL Hall of Famer, and he has his own podcast, The Nightcap. But Nightcap might be in jeopardy as well. Now, we all know Shannon Sharpe had one exclusive episode with Cat Williams on Nightcap that blew him up. We all know the run that Shannon Sharpe has had on FS1, Fox Sports with Skip Bayless. We all know how that ended. Him and Skip Bayless got into it, and things just was a downward spiral. And all of a suddenly, Fox let Shannon Sharpe go, and Stephen A. Smith vouched for Shannon Sharpe, and Shannon Sharpe was brought over to ESPN First Take. Now, when Shannon Sharpe was brought over to ESPN First Take, we saw the recent increase in numbers and viewership on ESPN First Take when Shannon Sharpe debuted on there. We saw the numbers with Fox Sports Undisputed plummeled, and evidently Fox Sports and Undisputed parted ways with Skip Bayless as well. So there's no longer Undisputed. And Shannon Sharpe was the main reason that Undisputed was being held down, and the numbers was steadily when him and Skip Bayless was on Undisputed. Now, we know what Shannon Sharpe brings to the table, his football knowledge. We all know that he was really raving for LeBron James when on Undisputed. Things between him and Skip Bayless got, heated. Shannon Sharpe would always defend LeBron James. We know he's one of LeBron James' biggest fans. We know what he brings to the table. And we all know that Shannon Sharpe is a real advocate for LeBron James. And that's when, him and Skip Bayless would get in heated discussions. And we saw what happened when him and Tom Brady had a discussion about Tom Brady, and things blew up. And ever since then, that show was on a downward decline because of the blow up that Shannon Sharpe had on Skip Bayless at the time. And, evidently, things just went south. And Stephen A. Smith put his reputation on the line, spoke to some of his executive producers, and Shannon Sharpe was hired by ESPN. Now, when he was hired by ESPN, man, the numbers went up for ESPN. Everybody thought that Shannon Sharpe was going to be, the cash cow. He was going to be the man there. He was going to replace Stephen A. Smith. Shannon Sharpe, aka Unk, got a lot of respect in the industry and the media personnel. And now all that has come to a suddenly halt because Shannon Sharpe decided to go to Pound Town, and Shannon Sharpe was recorded, and Shannon Sharpe had a lawsuit filed by an accuser allegedly saying that he raped her and things like that. So the lawsuit was filed. Shannon Sharpe came out, made a statement that he was going to protect himself. He was going to tell the truth, and he had to step away from ESPN, and he would return by NFL training camp. Now, NFL training camp is underway, and this is breaking news. Shannon Sharpe has been fired by ESPN. Now, let's take a look at an article that was written, that was dropped today on the firing of Shannon Sharpe. ESPN cuts ties with Shannon Sharpe after settlement of sexual assault lawsuit report. Sharpe hasn't been on ESPN since late April when a former romantic partner filed a lawsuit and accused Sharpe of sexual assault and battery. Shannon Sharpe won't be returning to ESPN, according to The Athletic, which reported Wednesday the network has parted ways with the Pro Football Hall of Fame tight end and media analyst. The news comes less than 2 weeks after Sharpe settled a sexual assault lawsuit brought forth by a former romantic partner who accused Sharpe of sexual assault and battery. Sharpe, 57, signed a multi-year contract with ESPN in 2024, but he hasn't appeared on the network since the lawsuit was filed in April. At the time, Sharpe initially called the lawsuit a shakedown in a video he posted on Instagram, claiming that the woman's lawyer, Tony Busby, targets black men. Later the same week, Sharpe posted a statement on social media describing his relationship with the plaintiff as 100% consensual. He also said, however, that he was electing to step aside temporarily from ESPN duties. I will be devoting this time to my family and responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me, he said in that April 24th statement, which additionally included him noting that he planned to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason. Training camp began for teams early this month, and the league's first preseason game will be played Thursday night in Canton, Ohio, ahead of the Hall of Fame festivities. The woman who filed the suit, in which she is known under the alias Jane Doe, was seeking $50 million for pain and suffering, psychologically and emotional distress, mental anguish, embarrassment, and humiliation, per The Athletic. Although Busby announced the suit dismissal on social media on July 18th, he didn't reveal the settlement details. After protracted and respectfully negotiations, I'm pleased to announce that we have reached a mutual agreed upon resolution, Busby said on X. All matters have now been addressed satisfactorily, and the matter is closed, and the lawsuit was thus dismissed with prejudice. Now, you see what happened there. Shannon Sharpe settled the lawsuit, and we know that the accuser later posted that she has retired from OnlyFans because I think she settled allegedly for $25 million from Shannon Sharpe. And I think that with Shannon Sharpe settling with the $25 million, that said there was some guilt there. And I think ESPN took wind of that, and ESPN had to make a decision, and the decision was to cut ties with Shannon Sharpe. Now Shannon Sharpe has been on Nightcap. Nightcap hasn't been the same. Now Nightcap is in jeopardy of being taken away from Shannon Sharpe. Before that lawsuit was dropped, Shannon Sharpe was on the verge of making $100 million with the podcast. Now he has fumbled the bag. I don't know where Shannon Sharpe goes from here. I don't know what his finances look like. I'm not pocket watching, but hopefully Shannon Sharpe can recover from this. Hopefully somebody will take, another chance on Shannon Sharpe, because Shannon Sharpe is, multi-talented. Shannon Sharpe, gives, people a refreshing, voice of reason on things that he talks about. And a lot of people have respect for Shannon Sharpe. But right now, we will no longer see Shannon Sharpe on ESPN, as ESPN has broke the news that they have parted ways with Shannon Sharpe. I see everybody in the comments section, #salute. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball Dropping drops another hot banger. Just in case I forgot, tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And that's going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.